Hey, look what we have here. I think we have vintage Transformers. Oh. Had I the time or inclination. Actually, some of these are reissues. Had I the time or inclination, if you're a Transformers fan, if you're a Transformers fan, I recommend that you buy this. This is the most beautiful playset ever made for Transformers. These are Dinobots. That's Grimlock in scale to this. Soundwave, look how big this playset, and there's a landing ramp. Warren, a puzzle maker, made this playset, and I had to get the original instructions, but this was unassembled when I got it. These kind of just fell off of it. But this, to scale, is just a beautiful backdrop. I think when I do the second edition of the Transformers, when I have time for more glory shots, I am going to include this. Look at the size of that Mamma Jamma. That's beautiful. I've always found it odd that they never re-released this figure for Sideshow yet, for the 12-inch figures. But this is one of, in my opinion, Hasbro's, I'm not going to sound, Hasbro's crowning achievements for their 12-inch line. This General Grievous figure, folks, if you don't have him, go out and get him. I know he's quite expensive on the secondary market now, relative to Shaq T and the other 12-inch figures, which are in here. Is that? I think that's Shaq T. I like to buy all of the Jedi Starfighters as well, because one day I have a dream of finishing my attic in my house and being able to display stuff. We already looked at the Tidarium shuttle. Oh no.
It pains me when you throw those things.
It'll be fun. This is just deep in Star Wars figures. I have probably 30 boxes full of Star Wars all the way down, all the way back. Uh-oh. There's something rattling around in here. As you know, some of these earlier lightsabers, don't worry about it, it's just one of those to slice open action figure packages. It pains me when I hear rattling around, but that's okay. Some of these earlier lightsabers are worth quite a bit. And I just have a Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker in this box. And had to get the 12-inch Aura Sing. Now we're getting into vintage G1 Transformers. When I did a book signing at the International Book Expo, in order to encourage people to come over to my table and get free books signed, I set up some Transformers over there. Skylynx, Jetfire, maybe this is the Jetfire with the variant wings. Yes, look at that. I have 3 sealed Jetfires, or this is a mint box Jetfire. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? That's a Robotech insignia on a Transformers piece. It's the earlier variants all have this. So, I've always found it fascinating, the merging of the lines. And there's a story behind this where, because I think it was, I want to say Bandai, that owned the Robotech license, if you look at Jetfire in the Transformers cartoon, he looks nothing like this. They had to rename him, call him Skyfire, and give him a completely different alternate mode because they couldn't use the Valkyrie model on television because Bandai still owned the license. Did we already see Smurfs? I don't think we saw the playsets, did we?
Nope.
Pop-up Smurf playset. Another pop-up Smurf playset. Smurfette's bedroom. What?
Hello.
What? With a mirror, huh? With a mirror, huh? Good stuff.
I thought she kept that above her bed.
She did keep it above her bed. What are you gonna do? A couple houses. Oh, my favorite. Gargamel's lab playset. Holy crap. And then I have, a bunch of the Schley Smurfs that I wanted to get just to have them when I write my Smurf articles. If you'll notice, the more deluxe Smurfs were boxed. These are more recent playsets by Schley, but when Peyo imported Smurf stuff to the United States in, let's say 1979 to 1983, a lot of the Super Smurfs were boxed, Smurf in a boat, more of the deluxe ones, any Smurf that actually came with movable or removable accessories. This is my favorite. I love the prize Smurfs, or the present Smurfs. Let's see what else I got. You know, a lot of people are going to wonder why I'm not showing a lot of this stuff, and that's because this is the newer G.I. Joe stuff, and I just don't want to touch newer G.I. Joe stuff. So, I'll just do a little flippy flip to show you what we got. You know, a lot of the dumb new G.I. Joe vehicle sculpts, and those are thick all the way down to the bottom there. Crimson Attack Copter, you know, some of the 12-inch figures. Oh, sadly, Palisades went out of business. Every time I was a kid, and I watched the Muppet Show, when I would hear that chant, "Pigs in space," I lost my mind. This one comes with, I believe this comes with a Miss Piggy figure. You can see her rattling around in there. But I did write an article on this, so a lot of times what I do when I write an article is, I'll cut the box open, I'll take out all the pieces, I'll display them, and then I'll put everything back, maybe not in its exact position as you can see, but this is mint loose complete. And I do have all the other figures in there. So I thought that's just a fun place, and you can get a better view of it there. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this is G1 Transformers. Deep. I put the reissues on top because I needed to put them somewhere. Oh look, another Hound, another Soundwave. What the hell. It's always fun to transform these. Even the brilliantly colored headmasters. I've always liked them. And as you can tell, a lot of these are worth quite a bit of money these days. Transformers. But I think that was part of the fun with writing that Transformers book is I'm really more of a G.I. Joe fan than a Transformers fan. But once I started getting into it and trying to complete it, even the Action Masters, the later ones, seemed appealing. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's an original Soundwave in box with buzzsaw. Hello. Great pictures on the back. I know it's beat up, but it's still an original box. Let's investigate. This should be some weird and unusual stuff. Hey, what do you know? I was right. I have whatever. I don't know why I got that, but there's some really, really old stickers, circa 1978. Some old superhero stickers. A couple extra Dewback and Sand Trooper, Ronto and Jawa, OP and Qui-Gon Jinn. The variant edition of the Salesman with tattoos from the Family Guy. I don't know why I have Teen Titans toys. Robin and the T-Cycle and Turbomobile, Cyborg, T-Cycle and Turbomobile. If I have the time and the inclination, I recently, when I'm doing my writing and my collecting and cataloging, I always put television shows on in the background. So I've been slowly watching every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation because it's one thing to own the figure. Ooh, Dixon Hill. It's one thing to own the figure, but I think it's another thing entirely to know where it fits in the canon. And for the uninitiated, the canon is the television show, sometimes the books, but you want to know what these characters are and what they do. Worf in Starfleet Rescue uniform. This is just a random Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure that I have in here. I have sealed about 4 or 5 sealed cases of these at home, plus a lot of the sewer playset stuff, because they have to be included in the new 80s toy book, because, you're talking about, what are we talking about? This came out in 1990, 1989. They began around that time. Little by little, I'm getting into the Ghostbusters. You want to get a Peter Venkman with Tooth Ghosts, Slimed Heroes. Who are you going to call, indeed?